Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we'll be doing a quick fun sketch of Barney Gumble from The Simpsons. So Barney Gumble is also notably Homer Simpson's, I think he's portrayed as Homer Simpson's best friend. And we're doing a shoulders and head shot, so Barney has some distinctive features that need to be highlighted. So we have head here, like he's a person of fair height, so among the larger boned characters of the show, but the mostly notable for his addiction to alcohol and hanging out at Moe's tavern at all times. So we have the eyes, nose, and mouth right here. And for the shoulder set, I think we can just do that for now. And there's the sagging structure of Barney, and usually he's in this pink polo shirt. Okay, and for his, so we start here from the neck up. So his head is essentially like big but flat on the top, so flat and going that way. So we're going to work our way from the lower lip and then go to the drooping upper lip. So just a collection of shapes so far, and those are his teeth. We come back in, meet the nose right here, and right around the nose here, if seen from that angle in the cartoon, it's his eye. So Barney has like drooping eyebrows most of the time anyways, but with a very occasional change, and particular change that came about with the shift in the character. So Barney was an alcoholic, but then for many seasons he was portrayed to go sober, and the show just I guess that was a welcome addition. He was funny in both I would say that he was funny in both versions, the sober version and the drunk version. So drunk means that he used to just have a Duff beer in his hand at all times and was chugging away at it. So the hair very unkempt, and this is the drunken version of Barney that we are doing here. I think we should have mentioned that. So his collar we need to bring right up there, and just do that. So he has a what you call a sort of a hump. So we will be bringing that up and perhaps just moving that here because he is like fairly like wide. And we have the hair coming right down here. So Barney, as he was created by the genius combination of Joe Kogan. And if you check Joe Kogan, like he has a very commendable resume when it comes to writing on writing duties on shows, and he is what you call he's a comedy writer notably, and he has since his like debut like in the 80s, I guess that's where he started. He had some input into Frasier, and Frasier was a very prominent comedy show, and Malcolm in the Middle, and Simpsons is that little gem that he worked on and developed characters for the show. And also like the creation duties for Barney Gumble, which by the way was in part inspired by Barney Rubble of The Simpsons, who was a mopey character compared to Barney. Barney is also, well, he's mopey too, but when he was drunk. So Wallace Wolodarski, also a very prominent writer in American television, and who has what you could say like works ranging from the Simpsons right to what we call movies, like prominent movies like Mr. Fox. I think it was called the Fantastic Mr. Fox and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So like light-hearted fare, but which was commended light-hearted fare in American television and movies. So these writers, they collaborated, with their great minds to create this character, among others. And of course, it was voiced by the brilliant. Barney Gumble was voiced brilliantly by Dan Castellaneta, and again, among a multitude of characters that he voiced, he won an Emmy in great part also for voicing Barney Gumble. So just putting some brown fill in there in the hair, which was originally intended to be blonde, but since it did not sit well, I think his blonde version actually even made to television, if I'm not wrong. But if that is not accurate, then they did intend it to be blonde, and since it was mixing too much with his skin tone, they changed it to brown. And again, in like a very effectively funny cultural prod, Barney's shown to have served, given his services. It feels as if it was the army, and these are probably his personal accounts. And he was also first pegged to be the owner of Barney's Bolorama, but later, since he was an ineffectual drunk, the show writers changed their focus and said that a business owner of a fairly well-doing business like the Bolorama in Springfield would not be somebody who would be so intoxicated at all times. So they switched the context there and said that his uncle Al instead actually owned the Bolorama and only named it after Barney. So some character history there, and of course in character traits, Barney is always hilarious, always despondent, and then when he sobered up, of course, and which was notable by a different hairstyle, which we wish we could also, we might actually look at it in a separate video. So sober Barney, and then I think for entire seasons, for an entire run, he instead shifted his focus to coffee and latte. Yeah, latte. He loved latte, and he chugged down latte pretty much like he used to chug down alcohol. So he found a new addiction, which was of course not as bad as alcohol, but still bad nevertheless. And his hangout spot was still Moe's Tavern. And of course his hangout buddies were again the same, with Homer Simpson being the most prominent and notable influence on Barney's character. So those are some little tidbits. So if you're doing a sketch of Barney, again, like Simpsons, the show, it's all like fairly, again, we mentioned, we have other videos that have featured some other Simpsons characters, and you could check those out as well. And we have tried to indulge into the backgrounds of the characters while we casually sketch these out in a fun exercise, just like we're doing with Mr. Gumbel right here. So you could add these tones on the side. Very easy practice with a color pencil. With watercolor might be even easier, but here we have a quick sketch of the character. Please do subscribe and keep in touch. We put out content pretty much every day, so please do check it out. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day.